Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to talk about which heat pad is the best for you. So in today's video, I'm gonna be using 3 different heat pads. I'm gonna use a $30 one, a $20 one, and a $10 heat pad. Now the first heat pad we're gonna check out is obviously the most popular, is the ZooMed under tank heater. I'm gonna be using the most popular one, which is the 10-20 gallon. It's 8 watts, and recently I looked at a PetSmart, it was $30, which is pretty expensive if you compare that to the next one and the mid-tier, which I found at Walmart. The Aquaculture 10 to 20 gallon heater, also 8 watts. This was $20. You can find this at Walmarts all over the place. Every Walmart I've been to has one of these. There might be, your Walmart might not have it, but most Walmarts have this. Now, I will say right out the box, when I purchased a couple of these. I purchased 3 of them for my tanks, and one of them just wasn't good. Like right out the box, I opened it, I took the plastic off, and immediately I was like, oh, this is not right. And it was the glue adhesive was a little bubbly, and it didn't stick. It was falling off my tank. I just threw it away just because I was like, you know what? I just feel like it's not safe. It might catch my house on fire, you know what I mean? So I threw it away, $20 down the drain. So I will say I've had a bad experience 1 out of 3 times with this one right here. Moving on, this is a $10 under tank heater that, well, honestly, it could just be put on the side, but it is a heat pad that I got off of Amazon for $10. Now, I actually got a 2-pack of this for $20, 2 of them. And this is a 20 watt heater. It's significantly higher, but it achieves the same exact temperature as the other ones. Also, they do sell the 8 watt as well, and it's 2 for $15. So it's the cheapest out of the bunch no matter what, and you get 2. Now, the main difference between 2 and 1 of these is adhesive. If you get one of these, you already know that there's a sticker, it comes off, you put it on the tank, and it's supposed to, by the directions, stay there forever. As we know, a lot of us do not follow the directions. We pull it off. We put it on somewhere else. Should you do that? No, it's highly advised against, because they're probably legally trying to keep themselves from having liability for your house burning down. And that's a scary thing. So the first difference is, if you want to move your heat pad constantly, say if you get a new tank, and you might say to yourself, oh no, this is going to be on there forever. Trust me, we've all been through it. We think we're going to have that heat pad on there forever. And the next thing you know, we're like, I'm going to change the tank out. I'm going to give them a different tank. I'm going to upgrade the tank. And then the heat pad is there. And we're like, oh man, I really wish I could take that heat pad off and put it somewhere else. Like I said, most of us do. But that's where this one shines, and it is the cheapest, because all you have to do is just get some tape up the corners, it's on there. Now this is a really big heat pad. I wouldn't advise putting this on a 10 gallon because, like I said, this is very wide. This is probably take up the entire 10 gallon tank underneath. That is the first difference out there. Now we're gonna talk about the heat difference of each heat pad. I first tested the ZooMed. I took all the substrate off, and I just showed what it would be like if you had it and it was flowing through the aquarium. And this is the temperatures I got. As you can tell, it's pretty hot. I didn't expect the ZooMed to be so hot, and it was the hottest out of all 3. That is really hot. That is desert heat sand hot, okay? And that's an important thing to note, okay? This is what you would plug a heat pad into. It has a little thermometer. You put it inside the terrarium, and when it gets to a certain degree, it'll cut off the heat. So that way you don't overcook your little guy, you know? I highly recommend these. And this is Vivos, I don't know how to pronounce it. I got this off of Amazon. They actually sell a Reptile heat pad with this on Amazon for $30. So you get this little thermometer, heat mat, thermostat, and you get an actual heat pad with it. I'm not sponsored. I know that sounded really sponsorish. I'm not sponsored by them at all. I just think that if you was wanting to cut some corners, $30, the ZooMed obviously is a little bit higher. But if you do have a desert reptile, then that would probably be okay to have a 130 heat pad. And the next heat pad we're gonna check out is the Walmart Aquaculture heat pad. This one came to a temperature of 115 degrees, which I actually think is pretty good. It's not too hot, but it is still hot. And it eventually, if it makes its way through the substrate, it'll have an ambient temperature of like 80 degrees inside of the enclosure. I think that's pretty good. Because obviously the ZooMed one, if you had something that like doesn't need that type of temperature and it gets to the bottom and just puts itself on there, it may cook itself doing that. Now let's go ahead and get to the Amazon one. Now, one thing great about this Amazon one is this. Bam! It has a little thermostat regulator on there. You can actually adjust the temperature. Remember, this was $10. So I really love this because I actually scrolled this down to where it was 85 degrees, and that's what the temperature was coming off of this, 85 degrees. I put my roaches on here, and the inside the tank was 91 degrees constantly. I really like that, and the roaches really, I had hissing cockroaches. They really, you know, they wasn't so lethargic, because they did come lethargic for a while. When I put this on there, they was eating more, walking around the cage, you know, and I really like that about this. And like I said, you could always put a thermostat if you think it's gonna get too hot to just shut it off for you. Now the heat on this one got to also almost the same one. It was 131 degrees. That was the heat coming off this, and that was the max setting of this. So when I turned it all the way up, I let it sit there, gather the heat. It was 131 degrees, which is significantly hot. However, like I said, you could roll back the temperature. That's one thing that is the pure winner of this. So now we come to the end of the video, and this is my recommendation. If you are just a one pet owner, if you have just a frog or something like that, you have one pet and that's all you're gonna have, you're gonna have a 10-gallon tank, then I would say go ahead and get the Walmart or the Zoo Med under tank heater, because it's gonna have adhesive, it's gonna stay there, it's gonna be there forever. Now, which one of those is really dependent on you. Do you want to spend the extra $10 to get the Zoo Med? On Amazon, I actually found the Zoo Med for only $20, so it would be the same price. But here's what you need to know. Do you have a desert species that needs the extra heat, or you just have a tropical species that just needs an ambient temperature of like 85 degrees? That's the real question you have to ask yourself. And then you can choose on which one to get. If you do have a tank that you're planning on upgrading, or you're moving stuff around, you don't want to really keep your reptile in there a lot, or you have a lot of pets, then I highly recommend going on Amazon and buying one of these. You don't have to buy the 20-watt version. When I look up reptile heat mat, this is the first thing that popped up. You can look at reptile heat mat 8-watt, and there'll be tons more popping up. They're much cheaper, and they usually come in 2 packs. Also, what's great is they come with little thermometers on them that just turn, and you can actually get the heat to where you want. Or you can just go buy one of these. But the thing is, if you buy one of these and you do get the double pack, it will have an adhesive heat mat. But if you just bought this by itself, then you can buy one of these and it'll run you perfectly. And that's why I said if you choose one of these, you can put this on any tank you please. It is laminated. It's not gonna ruin if you pull it off, because that is what's supposedly supposed to break the Zoo Med and this Aquaculture heat pad. It's an adhesive, so when you stick it off, you're bending the heat mat and you're gonna break the stuff inside that heats up the heat mat. Now we're at the end of this video. I would like to thank my man Jen. He is always watching all my videos, dropping a comment. I really appreciate you watching my videos, and you know my pets' names. That's awesome. I also would like to give a big shout out to my patron over on Patreon, Quartz Silver. That's my boy. If you enjoyed this video, if you have any other questions, drop it down in the comments below. I will see you next time.